Hello everybody, Christopher Hughes here. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of the guide to Welsh pronunciation that appears in my book, Cerridwen, Celtic Goddess of Inspiration. Now, it's one thing to see the guide in a book, but it doesn't really give you a feel for the sounds themselves. So I'm going to go over some of the sounds and also the alphabet so that you can hear what they sound like, which might help you if you're going to have a go, which hopefully you will, at some of the Welsh that's in the book. So one of the first things to remember about the Welsh language is that there are no silent letters in the Welsh alphabet, and that every letter is pronounced phonetically. Every letter has a sound, and the sound is vocalized in spoken Welsh, and it may appear quite different to what you might see on the page because your English brain or whatever other language your mother tongue is might interfere with what is actually going on in the Welsh language. So the stress of any word almost exclusively stands on the penultimate syllable, and the sound of a vowel is elongated if it appears with a circumflex above it. So the circumflex looks like an inverted letter V, and in Welsh we refer to it as a tor bach, or a small or little roof. So if a word has a circumflex, say, above the O, such as the word dawn for the goddess of the earth, it is pronounced similar to the dawning of the sun, dawn. But if it doesn't have a circumflex over the O, it would be don, don. Be rather fast and quite different to the sound of dawn. So let's have a look at the modern Welsh alphabet itself. Now, there is a copy of the alphabet in my book for you to look at, or you can grab one online and see if you can follow along with the sounds. So the modern Welsh alphabet sounds a little bit like this. But before I do it, the trick is to understand that if you can pronounce our alphabet, you can literally pronounce any word in the Welsh language. You might need a little bit of practice, but it isn't as difficult as you might imagine. This is the modern Welsh alphabet. I'll do it slowly to first, and I'll speed it up a little just for a bit of fun afterwards. So it goes like this. A, ba, ka, ch, da, v, e, v, f, ga, ng, ha, I, l, m, n, o, pa, f, r, s, ta, th, I, u, a. So as you can probably guess, it sounds somewhat different to the English alphabet. So once again, the Welsh alphabet is a, b, ca, ch, da, v, e, v, f, ga, ng, ha, I, l, m, n, o, pa, f, r, s, ta, th, I, u, a. So in the Welsh language, we have a few more vowels than you have in English. So the Welsh vowels are as follows. A is always short as in mat, or it's long as in farmer. E is short as in let, long as in bear. I is short as in pit, long as in meat. O is short as in lot, long as in law. Now the I sound is short as in ill and long as in limb. But it's a rather tricky sound to mimic and sounds slightly different between North and South Wales as well. In South Wales, it is similar to the sound of the letter E, whilst in North, it resembles more like the French E, and is often described as a sound one makes to express revulsion or repulsion. And it's perhaps one of the most difficult sounds to articulate phonetically in written English. If we're trying to describe it phonetically in the written word, it's difficult to get people to understand how the sound I is made. So the sound U, the letter U, is short as in look, long as in fool. The letter is short as in up, long as in under, or it's short as the E sound in hiss, And if it's present in the final word or syllable, it will sound similar to the letter I. Otherwise, it sounds like And in some instances, the letters E and O can sometimes act as consonants, which might be complicating things at this stage. So let's go to consonants. So some may be similar in sound to their English counterparts, but with heavy emphasis on aspiration of sound. We use a lot of breath and a lot of vocalization from this region of our body. We'll start with the letter B, which is always pronounced as the B in bin. K as in cat, but never as in cedar. Now, the letter K does not appear in modern Welsh, but it is evident in Middle Welsh, but it is still pronounced as a K sound. So the sound comes from here. If you put your fingers here, you can feel the vibration of the sound vibrating almost up to the very bottom of your ear canal. So that is pronounced as the in loch, but never as the in chin. Da always as in dad. Sounds like the TH sound in them, but never as the TH sound in thick. E as in elephant. V as in van. F as in off. G as in gate, but never as in gem. May sound difficult, but English palates say that word and speak that word all the time. It's the same sound as the NG sound in song, but never as in linger. It's slightly different. H as in hit, it is never silent. L as in lit. So now we get to the other tricky one, which is the letter H. So there's no equivalent sound in the English language to the letter H. But you voice it by placing the tip of your tongue in the L position and exhaling voicelessly through the sound of your mouth, through the sides of your mouth. So if you look at my tongue goes to the back of my top teeth there, and then voicelessly I exhale out the side of my mouth. So have a go. Put the tip of your tongue behind your two front teeth and voicelessly push the air out of the sides of your mouth. Do it with me. And keep doing it over and over until you've got the hang of it. Is always as in mat. N as in knit. P as in part. F as in phrase. Now the R sound is trilled by the very tip of your tongue. It's quite similar to the R sound in Italian. So if you take the Italian word ravioli, you can hear the similar trill to the sound of the R sound. The R sound has no counterpart in the English language, but you voice it by placing your tongue in the R position and exhaling quickly but sharply, but also voicelessly through the slightly narrow gap that your lips will form. So if you watch my mouth now and try have a go at the same time. The letter S is always the same as in zap. T as in tap. As in thick, but never as in them. Now, we do have another slight complication in the Welsh language, and they're called mutations. And Welsh, in common with its other sibling Celtic languages, has this phenomenon which is completely absent in the English language. Now, the tricky thing about mutations is that mutations will happen and occur quite naturally as you begin to think in Welsh. So don't worry yourself about mutations. The book offers you a guide to the different mutations that each letter might change into, but try not to worry about mutations. For a Welsh learner, if a native Welsh speaker hears somebody saying something and they've missed the mutation, we still understand what you mean and it is fine. You will start to morph and develop a natural tendency for mutations as you start to think in the language, as you're thinking between your sentences within the Welsh language. So the other thing about Welsh it's fun. And ultimately, they're just sounds, and they're sounds that anyone can make. So I encourage you, if you have read my book and you fancy having a go at any of the Welsh that's in there, some of the Welsh incantations or phrases or prayers, then do have a go. And hopefully this guide will at least go to some measures to help you understand the sound quality that is produced in the Welsh language. Thank you for listening, and hope you stay well. Take care. Bye-bye.